Hi there, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands, and 2 weeks ago we had elections, and after that I started vlogging because I am really curious what is going to happen, and I would like to see the development of it, but also want to investigate the context of it because this is already going on for decades. And then I'm talking about the far right, which became the biggest party in the Netherlands, the party most on the right. This is my week update, the first time, and that is for people who don't want to see my face continuously, but do want to be kept informed. And that's also because I realize it's not a Dutch thing. It is something more European countries are facing. And because of that, I am doing this also in English. Okay, let's start it. I will start with, it's my first week update, so I'll start with elections of 2 weeks ago, but okay. Because I started vlogging after that. 2 weeks ago, we had elections, and the most far right wing party, what a word, became the biggest with 37 seats. The one that came after that had 25 seats. So 12 seats difference, and that's big. 37 is not a high number, 25 isn't, and 12 is the difference between it. It's a landslide, an unexpected landslide. It was predicted that this far-right party, the PVV, would become big, maybe even win. But this was, nobody has predicting this, even not the party itself. 37 is not a high number. We have 150 seats in the parliament, and you don't need to be a genius to understand that 37 is not even half of it. You need to go to 76 seats to become the majority. The way to do that is to start working together with other parties, forming a coalition. This is quite normal in the Netherlands. It has been like this all my life, and it has to do with the threshold. It is quite easy as party to get into the parliament. So we have a lot of parties within the parliament, somewhere between the 10 and 15. I don't know exactly. I wanted to count them, but I forgot. To form that coalition, the biggest party gets the initiative to do so. So he is trying to find the parties that get along with him. And became more clear in the last 2 weeks that he is heading for a four-party coalition. That is his own party, that is the VVD. The VVD is a liberal party, but has quite a few conservatives in it. It is the alternative for the PVV, or actually the PVV was the alternative for the VVD, since the VVD has been the largest party in the last 13 years. And then you have the NS, say. We don't know much about them. It is a very brand new party, except for the leader. He was already in the parliament, but the rest of them, the 19 others, are all new. We have a lot of new people in the parliament. They have been installed yesterday, the 6th of December. So we have a new parliament. We don't have a new government yet because the coalition is not there yet. And then we have a fourth party, that is the BBB, which can be translated as the civil, the civil farmer party. But farming is actually their business. They are not big in the second chamber, which is parliament, but the party itself, for the second chamber, they are brand new. Without the BBB, there would already be a majority of 81 seats, but the PVV and the BBB seems to go together pretty well. The other two parties have more problems with it in different ways. And I'll start off with the VVD. The VVD has announced the day after the elections that they don't seek to become part of any coalition because they have been losing 10 seats, and so they went from 34 to 24, and she feels that it is better to take a step back. But by doing so, she has split up, divided her party, her own party, because most of the members, most of the voters want the VVD to sit in a coalition with the PVV. I wouldn't be surprised if those 10 seats of the VVD, there are numbers about it, I have been just looking it over, but part of it has been going to the PVV as an alternative for the VVD and also to pull the VVD more to the right side, because they haven't been delivering what a lot of people would have expected or feel that the party has become too much in the middle or even a bit to the left. The other party, the NSC, has quite a different problem. He has a problem with the party itself, the party of Geert Wilders, the PVV. He is known for his knowledge, for all the cases he knows, the files he knows. He is what we call a paper eater. And we had some scandals. We had one really big one, and that had to do with how the tax office was working, what you in the States would call the IRS. And he wants to build in more check and balances, both in the different governments in the Netherlands, as well as in institutions like the tax office or the IRS or whatever you like to call it, but you know what taxes are. And it happens to be that in the program of Geert Wilders there are things put in which are unconstitutional activities. And that is a big problem for the NSC, as you probably will understand. Besides that, the PVV is radical against the Islam, and with it against immigration of Muslims into our country, mostly asylum seekers, which is actually only a part of the migration or immigration, but for them it is the most important part. So you could say that Geert Wilders and his party is actually afraid of the Islam and Muslims. He also can be very rude. He is calling names, and he has even been convicted for that, for discriminatory behavior, if it was really formulated as discrimination. I don't remember anymore, but he has been convicted for going too far. In a few months he has become more mild, and he have been saying that everything that has to do with the Islam, that he has put that in the fridge. To which some already pointed out that a fridge is a device to keep things fresh, to use another day. And I think that there is a lot of distrust. When Geert Wilders realized that he could become the biggest party, that's the moment he became more mild. But whether that is going to stick is the question. He himself is saying about it like, I have now a different responsibility, so I will need to act differently. Okay, about the process. How are you going to form a coalition in the Netherlands? What happens is that, as I said, the biggest party has the initiative, and he is going to invite a scout, which has been invited. The scout was supported or is supported by all the leaders of all the parties, except for one, but that one is not participating in this process. And the scout is going to talk with every leader of every party and will make a proposal about the next steps to take, in which there will be a proposal for the next coalition. He should have reported this week. That didn't happen. Instead, he has more conversations, but now with two people at the same time. And he hopes that he can take away some distrust between parties. Yesterday was with Jessalgus. Sorry, it's not a Dutch name, and it's hard for me to remember and to pronounce as well. Jessalgus from the VVD. They came out. It was a good conversation, they said, and she was also saying that she was willing to talk with four parties, and that whether in what kind of structure that is going to be, whether it is supported or whether it is within the coalition itself, that is for later. She has been, when she announced that she didn't want to become part, or that her party didn't want to become part of a coalition, she did say that she wanted to support a PVV coalition, PVV coalition. And supporting a coalition is quite different. It can be anything, but you can formalize it, making an agreement with the coalition, where the party promises to back them up in votes on certain topics, but of course they want something. But that is for the whole coalition. In the end, you need to negotiate, and that is a process of giving and taking. When you are supporting, you do have more freedom, because you don't need to get through all the things which are important for all the parties on the table, sitting at the table. You can pick and choose more. But there's a downside to it as well, because you will have less influence. You will not deliver any ministers or secretaries, which is a position just under minister. You can say under minister. You are not going to be in the cabinet, not in the government. And the conservative part of her party want, those are the ones that are more, in between the VVD and the PVV. And as I said, I think quite a few have been voting for the PVV for the reason that they, from right to the middle, a bit to the left maybe. So to pull the VVD back, thinking that they would go together, the VVD and the PVV. So everybody was a bit shocked after she said that she didn't want to become part of a coalition and only want to support it. But yesterday she has decided not just to negotiate, or to negotiate, to go to the next phase, and to negotiate with the other parties, and later on to see in what kind of system structure that is going to be. Yesterday, with the VVD was the day before yesterday. That it is in the middle of the night here now, so that's why. Yesterday, Wilders has been speaking with the Scout and with Pieter Omtzigt of the NSC, and it seems that there is more space now for communication. There will be another meeting today. We don't know what it is about. It's all in secrecy. We only know that the first conversation delivered, but it doesn't mean that Pieter Omtzigt is going to decide, because there are so many new people in his party. for the moment, he is a party in itself. But Peter Omtzigt, Peter Omtzigt is going to decide to take part in the coalition or even in the negotiations. And that will be the second phase. The Scout is coming up with a report. It is expected next week. Then the second phase will take place. In between, there will be a debate in the parliament about it. And then somebody will be appointed to lead the negotiations. In that second phase, everything that is in the programs of the four parties will be discussed. That's why it will take a few months before anything is going to happen, really happening, before we have a cabinet or a government, or even green light for this coalition. And because it is negotiated in detail, it is not like a two-party system, where, for instance, the Democrats, as in the States, can vote for a bill from the Republicans and the other way around. That's not happening. When there is a coalition, it will be a bloc. You know, they have made arrangements. I give you this, and then I can take that one. So on almost every issue they have been talking about and they have agreements upon. I want to end with what might happen when Peter Omtzigt, for instance, would say, well, I'm not going to do this. And it depends on what is going to happen, but it might be that Geert Wilders will not be able to form a coalition. In that case, the initiative will go to another party, and then they will try to see whether they can form a coalition. But then you need to think about the middle or even left, which theoretically would mean that it is possible that we end up with a left-wing party, of a left-wing coalition, and not with Geert Wilders. And that is something I don't like about this system, but the system has forming a coalition prevents a coalition to get really far to the right or really far to the left. This will be right, pretty far to the right for us, but in comparison, I think with a two-party system, not that much. But at the same time, and it happened in my lifetime, I think once, that the initiative was taken away and that we got a completely different cabinet or coalition than was expected. And that happened when I was young, so it doesn't happen often. That can happen. I mean, it happened. Another way to go might be that Geert Wilders is going to say, well, still I have a pretty big coalition, so I'm going to be a minority coalition. And that can be in two ways. Either they are going to rely on a party who is going to support them, which might be the VVD, or they need to negotiate every point with, or every thing they bring in with other parties to see whether they can negotiate something in which you also give and take. I would prefer the last one. And that's because I do think that there are things we need to talk about. The hot topic of these elections was immigration. And we have become divided on it. You are in favor of it or not. But it makes it very hard to talk about certain things. And when there is a minority coalition, you actually force the parties to start to talk with each other, and it might open things up. I think that we have become too much divided. The Dutch people don't want the old establishment anymore. What they want in return, I think a lot of people even don't know. Because I think a lot of people didn't vote for the PVV because they are in agreement with everything that is in Geert Wilders' program. They have been voting for the PVV because they want things done in this country. And at the moment, the VVD has not delivered that. Although the VVD is still popular because they want the VVD to take part in the coalition. We have seen that Geert Wilders and Pieter Omtzigt today came closer together because they were talking with each other. I think we need to talk in society as well, but not just talk, because a lot has been talking about, but nothing has been really happening. And that is what needs to change. That is what makes the voter distrusting the government, distrusting the parliament, and distrusting the establishment. And I think it is a vote against the establishment, although the VVD is part of the establishment. But the part of the establishment has been voting PVV to show the VVD the way, so to speak. Although the PVV has got votes from quite a few parties. It's not just the VVD, but yeah, the VVD too. Okay, that was it for the weekly update. If you liked it, there are a few buttons here, down here. You can use them or not. You can also press one of those buttons when you didn't like it. And I hope to see you back next time. Okay. Bye. Have a good day.